Welcome to Girl Talk. We're so glad you can join us today at America's Best Flowers. This is on Vilas Hope Road, but according to your GPS, it's Vilas Hope Road. But
that is correct.
Either one works and gets you here. I get amused sometimes at Google's attempts. I think Odana Road in Madison is Odana?
Yep.
Something like that.
Even worse, my GPS sometimes pronounces drive as doctor.
Oh,
DR. Yeah.
I haven't
That's
heard
pretty
that
bad.
John Nolan is John Nolan,
Yep.
I think.
Yep. She tries, but you know, she's not from the area. What do you expect?
Got to give her credit. You know, I was recently out of the country, and she was doing quite well with some of the foreign names. So
good.
Kudos to Google. I'd be lost without her, literally.
I literally would be too, and I grew up here, and I use it in Madison all the time.
I think about this frequently because we are so reliant on our phones and GPS now, and even, you know, of course there was pre-internet days, but even thinking back to the days where you'd go to MapQuest and you'd print out your directions, and then, you know, you'd be reading them and trying to pay attention, or prior to that, having the big map.
The atlas.
On the dashboard while you're driving. Oh, yeah. You know,
so you unfold your big giant map, and then you're trying to look for your road while driving. I mean, we've certainly come a long way.
I do have to say, I've found several memories of traveling on road trips with my family as a little girl, though, and you'd make the pit stop. Everybody would need to, you know, use the bathroom and get a drink or whatever, and then you'd stop and stretch, and then you'd lay out the map on the hood of the car, and everyone would peer over and see how far you'd come and how far you had to go and the towns that you'd seen. And it's definitely it's more tangible, and you had a chance to talk, and it was part of the stop. You know, was to spread the map out and, you know, get some sun because you were traveling from Wisconsin to Florida or somewhere in the winter, and it's a nice memory. But
it's hard to find a lot without these days.
Gas stations usually still have the spinner.
Not all of them. It's tougher to find them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bygone era, but maps are pretty neat, so appreciate what we have.
We're in Madison, Wisconsin, and it's cold.
It's cold.
I got to say, my car made some noises this morning that sounded a lot like me trying to get out of bed.
Yeah.
It was very complaining.
Yeah. This is the first year I've had a car that actually, so far, hasn't not started. It's been complaining, but every other year something, it's always too cold or something, so I feel appreciative of my engine right now.
Well, America's Best Flowers is going to give us a perk. It's going to give us a little boost, a little pick-me-up, talking about indoor plants and which ones to choose and how to keep them going, how to keep them happy. I love this one here.
Yeah.
You know, with Valentine's Day coming up, instead of flowers, maybe a plant like this. I mean, look at the color of that.
I mean, this is what you call fuchsia, right? Like, I mean, this just kind of lights up your whole insides just because of the color itself.
Love that.
It's definitely going to last longer than flowers, certainly.
Janet likes this plant, guys, out there, so just saying.
Just saying. Yeah. Or if you do like the cut flowers, I did see that they have a fresh floral arrangement at a workshop. And that's Saturday, January 13th from 1 to 3. So that might be kind of fun.
I would love that if somebody actually put their bouquet together for me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great
She goes,
No.
I like arranging flowers.
Rather than just having somebody else do it. But if you don't know what to do or you don't have time to put your own together and do all that, they're great at giving suggestions here. I've got personal experience with that. Lovely bouquets, lovely service.
The folks here are really nice, and you can actually meet them yourself at the Garden Expo. Let me look at the dates on that. February 9th through 11th, they'll be there at the Alliant Energy Center, and you can meet Barb and Margaret. We're going to chat with them later in the show, too.
They're so sweet.
They are really nice, but they know so much. So if you're having a plant that's giving you some trouble, they might be able to help you with that.
Got a few of those.
A plant-tastrophe.
That was pretty special.
That was good. We're also talking dental care. I went out to Village Smile Care. They're out in Mount Horeb. The doctor out there is Dr. Angela Cody. Super nice, super knowledgeable. We talk about all kinds of things, about x-rays and just the anxiety of going to the dentist these days and some of the solutions for your troubles, I guess.
Sure.
Dentistry has come a long way since the time of headgear and all that crazy stuff from back in the day that unfortunately I did not have. But I mean, even braces and things like that, they just have come so far to alleviate some of that like long-term action that you have to deal with in your mouth. So.
Also, what's come a long way is getting piercings and tattoos.
Yes,
just about
nice
everyone's got them these days, and we're going to be meeting with Bad Apple Tattoo in just a few minutes.
Janet's going to get a tattoo on air. No, just kidding.
Stick around and see if that really
we
happens
don't really know, actually,
or not. Sorry, Mom, we're just kidding. All that and more coming up after the break. We'll see you in just a moment.
Hi folks, welcome back to Girl Talk. We are having a lovely time here at America's Best Flowers out in Cottage Grove. I'm so happy to be surrounded by like beautiful live flowers right now because it is so cold outside. So anyhow, come out here even if you just need your fix of being around live flowers. I'm here right now with Sam from Bad Apple Tattoo. Hey Sam, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk a little bit about something that I'm curious about. So the trends, first of all, Bad Apple is on the east side, right on East Wash or right off East Wash?
Right off East Wash.
Right off East Wash. So these are great folks to go to. We've met several of the folks from Bad Apple, and they're all just such nice people, and will give you all the consultation and information that you need, which is wonderful.
The
So
bad
thank you for that.
apples are actually good
Good
apples.
eggs.
There you go.
That's awesome. A little spin on the name. But I was curious about a trend that I've seen from growing up. It used to be that tattoos and piercings were kind of for folk that were interested in kind of an alternative look or lifestyle or punk rock, if you will. Now, not so much. Now you see people with all kinds of stuff going on that are like going to their kids' soccer tournaments. Like, tell me what you see in this trend.
It seems like it's kind of been like that for a while. You just probably didn't notice it as much. And then nowadays with teens who are coming into adulthood and we're all a little weird in that aspect, jobs are a lot more approving with a lot of that stuff. So we've been reeling in a lot of people who didn't have the opportunity to do it before, but now their jobs are okay with it, so they can go get a piercing or a tattoo that can kind of show a little bit. So that's pretty nice.
That's so interesting. So there's like a cultural and societal change of expectations of what's acceptable in the professional world,
Yeah,
right?
we're
Like,
definitely getting rid of like that stigma that like tattoos are just for like degenerates or anything like that, which is fantastic.
high five on that. I'm in.
I did notice that, though. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about the job aspect of it because you're right. It did used to be a little bit more of a rebellious thing to do, and now people are more and more using it as an expression of art and feeling. And I think that is such a nod to what's happening in our society. The fact that our
we've
employers
had a
are now accepting that.
huge change with stuff like that. Like when I started working, my first job was White Castle, and they would have never let me look this strange. But now you can go out and work at like a Lowe's or even a Home Depot, and they don't even mind the fun hair, the tattoos, the piercings, which is great.
So Sam, I'm kind of curious. I'm at the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I don't have any ink, and I didn't get pierced ears until actually I was an adult.
Really?
Yeah, and thanks, Mom. And and I'm just curious, do you get many seniors? So if I decide when I'm 60 or 70, I'm going to get that ladybug tattoo after all.
Oh, yeah.
You know, do you see those folks come
Yeah,
in for their
definitely.
first one?
We get a lot of older ladies compared to older men, honestly. But they come in, they'll get their first one. They sit like champions. They're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. I would have 20 more after this. They're just ready for it.
Do they say what inspired them at age 60, 70, whatever?
I feel like it's a mix between two things. Either they've wanted to do it forever and just felt like they're finally ready and it's time, or it's more of the stigma's gone for the most part. They're not really minding because their daughters, their granddaughters, their grandsons all have tattoos and piercings.
They can be cool grandma.
Yeah, exactly, and they can go together. Like we get families who will come in and I'll get matching tattoos.
I kind of like
Which
that
is really
idea.
cute.
Yeah.
They do all sorts of fun stuff like that.
We can get matching girl talk tattoos when
Certainly.
we get older.
I mean, that's kind of a trend, you know, best friends or bridal groups or, you know, mothers and daughters or parents will want to get their kids' names tattooed and have them matching.
Sibling
Yeah, that's
tattoos all
neat.
the time. It's
I
nice.
love that.
I've seen that, but I've never seen or thought about the whole family getting the same thing. I like
Yeah.
that idea.
Yeah, that's a good thing to put on your bucket list with your family. Like family vacation, we're going to get tattoos together.
Yeah, and it's a fun thing for everybody to do. They like watching the other person, you know, get nervous and then sit there and do really well.
What a
So
bonding experience. I can't
Exactly.
believe we're already out of time. It goes so fast.
Yeah,
but
it does.
it was fun. We learned a little bit
Yes, we
about
did.
some of the trends in tattoos, and now you know it's for everybody. So if you don't have one, go check out the great folks over at Bad Apple Tattoo. Thanks for being with us,
no
Sam.
problem, thanks.
We'll be back with more Girl Talk after the break. Hey, and welcome back to Girl Talk. We're filming today at America's Best Flowers, a gorgeous space. Can't wait to check in with those folks later in the show. Right now, we're going to talk a little bit about dental care. We got some great tips from Dr. Angela Cody over at Village Smile Care, or I should say, rather, Janet got some great tips.
I did. Dr. Angela Cody is out in Mount Horeb. She's knowledgeable, she's friendly. I'd say if you're going to go for a dentist, she's a good one to go to because she makes you feel so comfortable.
Yeah, you bet. Well,
Yeah.
let's find out what she knows right now. Take a look.
If you have anxiety about going to the dentist, I don't think you're alone. But if fear is keeping you from going altogether, you might have some bigger problems. So here to talk us down off the ledge and into the chair is Dr. Angela Cody at Village Smile Care in Mount Horeb. Dr. Angela Cody, thanks for chatting with me today and having me come in here.
You're welcome.
How common do you think is this anxiety folks have about seeing the dentist?
It's very common. Most people do not like being in the chair you're sitting in right now. We see it often, I'd say daily, most patients, a large percentage, and there's studies that show about up to 30% of Americans don't even go to the dentist because of dental anxiety. They avoid it altogether, which is really sad because they're probably having some pain and some issues that could be treated early.
And early is really the key, isn't it? So what do you suggest? What can someone do? Maybe what can I do or your patients do to help themselves?
Yeah, so people that just have a little bit of anxiety or fear, the best thing is just talk to your dentist. A lot of times it's triggered by a specific incident, so just sharing those stories so they know things to look out for. For example, some patients just really hate the noise of the drill. So there's things we can do to make that more comfortable if we know. We have these great movie glasses here that we have our patients wear, and they have big headphones and you watch a movie inside, and so that's really great for people that don't like the noise or the sounds or don't want to know what's going on.
Just removes you altogether, doesn't it?
Yeah, just
Okay.
pretend you're somewhere else. Other patients are the opposite, where they get really nervous if they don't know what's going on, so they want us to explain each step slowly and
be
check
me.
in. Yeah, so it's good to just talk about what your specific fears are. That way we can address it. So for a lot of people that will be very helpful, and a lot of technological advances have made things more comfortable. For some people, they just can't even get in the chair. So there's other options for them, such as nitrous oxide or even oral conscious sedation, so they don't have to worry about that fear.
Tell us more about those.
Yeah, so nitrous is a odorless gas that people know it as laughing gas. So we administer it through a nose piece, and basically we deliver it with oxygen. It relaxes people and just decreases their pain a little and makes them more comfortable in the chair. So that's great for a lot of people. And for those that just can't even handle that, we do offer oral sedation where we use a drug called benzodiazepines. We titrate the dose to the patient, and they are just asleep through the appointment. They don't remember it. Someone brings them and takes them home, and just, they can get all their dental work done without even being aware, which is great for some people.
And those are safe?
Yeah, those are very safe. Nitrous, you can drive home from that. We're able to titrate it very easily and change the dose, so that's great. Very little side effects. And then as far as the oral sedation, we have our patients monitored, so we're watching their blood pressure, their pulse, and their oxygen level in their blood to make sure they're breathing okay. And same thing, we dose it according to their needs. So we're monitoring you the whole time. It's very safe and easy way to get the treatment done without having to have the fear and anxiety.
What about kids? We know it's important to get kids in early. Can those be used on children? Should they be used on children?
Yes, definitely. Especially if the nitrous is very safe. It's often used for kids just to calm them down a little, and we can use very small doses and change it very rapidly. And there are pediatric dentists that are wonderful that do all sorts of sedation options for the nervous child. So there's options for adults and children.
Okay, now let's talk specific. You'll do the needle, the injection to numb the area. What if folks have trouble with that?
So there have been a lot of advances in that as well. The gels that we use prior to numbing are very strong. We order a prescription strength one ourselves, so to take that initial poke away. And a lot of people, what they hate is that burning or stinging sensation that you feel when you get an injection or a shot. And there's actually been things to do away with that. They've been using it in medicine for years, but it's fairly new in dentistry. It's called buffering. So the pH of anesthetic is very acidic, almost like a lemon. And so if we buffer it and add some sodium bicarbonate, it can come down to the pH level of our body. So you don't feel that sting and burn. It also makes it take effect quicker. It's more effective. People get more numb. So a lot of people that had problems with numbing in the past, it's not an issue anymore.
Wow, so many options to help people get in this room and in this chair specifically. Sounds good. Well, you can always talk to Dr. Angela Cody yourself. She's here at Village Smile Care in Mount Horeb. We're Girl Talk. We'll be right back. And you're back with us at Girl Talk. We're here at America's Best Flowers out in Cottage Grove, and to distract us from this cold right now, we have Barb and Margaret. Barb is the retail manager here at America's Best Flowers, and Margaret is the floral manager. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving us a little pick-me-up right now in this cold time of winter.
It is.
So, if we want our homes to maybe be somewhat like America's Best Flowers, we can get some of the plants. Let's talk about the indoor plants. I know a problem I have, Barb, is I have one really great window. And so all the plants crowd in to get that sunshine. And I'm wondering, what are some plants that folks can consider that don't need to fight for that window space?
Good question.
We do have some very nice peace lilies here, Spathiphyllum. It also blooms, doesn't need as much light.
With this one right here, before you go on, Barb, it seems like the more you neglect this one, the more it blooms. Is that right, or is that just dumb luck with me?
It seems to do that. If you keep it too happy, too moist, it doesn't force bloom as much.
It's like that with a
So
lot of
yes.
plants, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
In fact, I have a geranium that I got from you folks that's in that window seat, and it's blooming like crazy, and I've been a little neglectful lately. It seems like it's blooming even more. It's amazing.
It is. They're kind of threatened that they're going to lose their life, and they want to set out blossoms so they can reproduce.
All right, so the
Yep.
peace lily, gorgeous plant too.
They are very nice.
Maybe you already answered my question with that, which is, what if you're not real good with the indoor plants? I'm asking for a friend, of course. What are good low maintenance options? Is that a good one?
It is. It is. Along with the snake plant here, that's one that can also take more low light. Doesn't need water frequently. You want that one to get rather dry in between.
Okay.
The nice thing about this one, Jessa, is it tells you when it needs water because it just goes.
It
That's
wilts.
helpful.
Yep.
Excuse me, forgot about me. Yeah, that's what I need.
And what about this one? This is a really common one you see like in people's offices and cubicles and things. Is that a low light type
It
of?
can take a lower light also. It's a golden pothos. You want to let it get dry down about an inch, as with most of the plants, except for the succulents. You want those to be even more dry in between. But that one, and it'll trail over the side. If it gets too long, you can pinch it back and it'll make it more bushy at the top again. A real pretty bright plant.
And sounds very tolerant.
Yes.
With
Yes.
the succulents, you mentioned they need even less water. About how often are we talking?
Well, there it depends on your home, your temperature, things like that. But with most of the other plants, if you put your hand down, your finger down in about an inch and it's dry, it's time to water. These, you want it to be dry like that for up to a couple weeks. In the wintertime, sometimes people only water their succulents once a month.
Wow,
There you go.
that's perfect.
Yep. And they're not
For my
growing.
friend, of course. Yeah.
They don't grow as much in the wintertime, so they don't need fertilizer. They don't need as much water.
Interesting. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, great tips and pointers. It's so nice to have those indoor plants this time of year when, you know, it does get a little dull and gray, although it's beautiful and sunny in here today. Let's talk about Valentine's Day. From one holiday to the next, we just move right through, right?
Right, yeah.
It's time to start thinking about it. Let's talk about when to order. You can order gorgeous bouquets and some of the things you're seeing here on set from America's Best. When should we do that?
Well, you know, to get the best selection and to make sure that we're going to have, you know, time to deliver, the sooner the better. You know, a few weeks before Valentine's Day is really appreciated. That way we know we got enough flowers, you know, we know that we've got enough drivers to deliver all this. So, yeah, a couple
That's
weeks
good.
before.
But as it gets closer, people can still try. Just selection maybe.
Oh, you will still have a good selection. It's just, you know, we like to know ahead of time just so that we have enough.
Right.
And you've been here a long time, Margaret, so you're probably pretty good at folks that are like, I'm not sure what to send. Maybe it's not a relationship where it's a dozen roses. It's
Right.
something else, and you can guide folks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we definitely, yeah. Barb and I work together with another young girl, and yeah, we can definitely, you know, there's always plants that, you know, you could pick a flowering plant like the one on the table there. It doesn't have to be roses. It can be carnations. It can be, you know, austromeriums, daisies, you know, if it's just a little something you want to give.
I have to say, to your point, Janet, I have that experience myself ordering flowers for a friend, and I had no idea what to give for the occasion, and I just called and was guided to the right thing. When the bouquet arrived, they were so over the top thrilled with what came. So the customer service is outstanding and appreciated. And just so you know, at home, if you're not just wanting to do traditional flowers, there's other opportunities and options, right?
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, you know, we send out balloons if you want to just, you know, send some balloons. We've got all kinds of Mylar balloons that have little messages on them. If you want to add something extra to your bouquet, we have stuffed animals. You can send boxes of chocolate.
Chocolate works.
Yeah. Who doesn't love chocolate? But yeah, and almost anything you see here, we can, send out.
Yeah.
for
Or
delivery.
if you like the idea of sending a house plant, that's an option
Yes.
too.
Oh
wrapping
yeah.
Up someone's
yeah,
in-home.
you can always put a little bow in there or put a little pick in there to make it, a little more Valentine's-y.
I love it.
We have just a little bit of time left. We have an event coming up. It's the Garden Expo.
Yes.
What do you want to tell us about that?
Ooh, we'll have all kinds of wonderful new things that we don't have in the shop yet. It's things we ordered this fall just for Garden Expo. And we ordered a limited amount. So, come on out and see us at the Garden Expo and see what kind of new fun things we've got.
That is an ultimate pick-me-up.
No
It's
kidding.
warm. It smells great. It's
Oh, yeah.
very
At the
spring-like.
Alliant Energy Center, if you haven't been before, February 9th and 11th this year.
Alrighty. And we'll see both of you there?
Yes.
Very excellent.
Yeah.
You can meet Barb and Margaret yourself at the Garden Expo at the Alliant Energy Center. Thanks for chatting with us today.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thanks to all of our guests. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Girl Talk.
Beauty and styling for Girl Talk provided by the Ultimate Veritas Spa and Salon.